Hi everyone. I think it's really finally we meet in the virtually, but our AGM is going on. That's a big thing for us, and thanks for all of you for supporting this one. Since many of us maybe we don't know each other, so I better introduce our firm. We are Taiwan representative Louis and Charles, and Paul Cheng, he is our MD, and I'm Arpita Dutta. Though I'm in India and I'm in Taiwan for last many years. So you can introduce something about our firm.
Okay, we are basically starting from an IP boutique. Then we start development of our business and the firm. We have our legal departments, and so about 6 or 8 years ago, we happened to have the great opportunity to be introduced to become a member of Macro. So I'm really happy we have been the only representative of Macro in Taiwan since then. And so far we have around 100, over 100 staffs in total, including attorneys and patent attorneys for about 15. So basically, that's the background of Louis and Charles.
Thank you, Paul. So moving on to our first question.
Okay.
What have you and your firm learned through this crisis? I understand that Taiwan was not hit as bad as other countries, but has it brought any changes, or has it brought any new learning to the firm due to this pandemic?
Okay. The very first thing I've noticed is everyone in our firm are much healthier than before, because starting from February up to about May, usually there are around 20 colleagues who got cold, for the past 10 years. But this year, I don't see anyone who got cold. So maybe that's the only thing we should thank to COVID-19. And the second thing is because the situation in Taiwan is quite moderate. So that's why we do not have any lockdown. Since we do not have any lockdown, so we can proceed everything as usual. Everyone just goes to the office every day as usual. And the only thing we have to, the only different thing is we have to wear the facial mask.
Maybe that is the reason why people is not catching cold or flu this year.
Yeah. Of course, various industries are severely affected by this outbreak. But basically, the economy is doing okay and up until now in Taiwan.
That's interesting.
Do you want us to say something about the industry situation or anything?
No, I think that's fine, because we just have about 7 minutes. So I'd like to keep it a little short. So thank you for this. Coming on to our next question, we have countries around are gradually coming out of their lockdown globally, and it's creating new opportunities and challenges. I want to understand that are there any opportunities and challenges that you see in your jurisdiction because of this, and how is your firm prepared to meet these challenges and serve clients?
Okay. Just like I mentioned before, we do not have any lockdown in Taiwan. And so, of course, there are more meetings are held virtually. but still we have face-to-face meetings with clients because the virtual meeting or the conference meeting via the internet is still not that real. I mean, it's not as efficient as face-to-face meetings with clients. So that's why, as long as we do not have the health issue, we still arrange meetings with clients, and even they prefer, because sometimes 3 calls cannot finish the matter we need to finalize. But with a face-to-face meeting, we can fix everything. Yeah, so that's one thing I have noticed.
Also, maybe we miss our IP gathering. I think that's one of the important things that we need to organize much earlier so that we can have new clients. So this IP, like Inta, APA, everything has been cancelled this year. So I think that's a big loss. And another one thing we have noticed is in Taiwan, court and TIPO, all offices are open. So we miss lots of deadline. We cannot receive the documents from that other countries. So because since those countries are under lockdown, the attorneys could not communicate with the clients. So those are big issues. So we need to prepare further many documents for the clients. So those kind of challenges we have already handled. I think we are prepared now for any further. And it's better enough to tell you one thing information that maybe say since Taiwan has not so many cases, we may ease more restriction next week from the next month.
Yeah.
That's interesting to know. So thank you for this. And coming to our next question, as an IP firm, as a law firm in Taiwan, what is your unique selling point? And are you seeing this being changed or being altered for the future challenges, or are you going to continue as you are? What is your unique selling point?
Well,
we do not have any change in our USP planning, because it's not a really big effect happened due to the COVID-19. So we do not change any status or anything. So it will run as usual that we had previously.
Yeah, and another thing is now we have a separate floor offices. So that's why when necessary, we just keep our staff, we just divide them into 2 groups. So if one group has anyone got infected, then still the other group can just maintain the daily function. So we don't even have to consider the remote working at home because Taipei is quite a small city. So it's very easy, I mean, to just to commute. And so up until now, we did have plans for the contingency situation, but fortunately, we don't really have to place that in force. So that's why we are back. Until yesterday, our people cannot meet each other. I mean, the other floor coming down, they can stay only in the lobby, and we are not supposed to go upstairs to enter the office.
Upstairs.
Yeah. But now it's open.
Means you can understand that we maintain the strict protocol for the social distancing.
Yes.
Yes.
That's interesting to hear. And I think that's an intelligent move as well. If you have people already in isolation or in different floors, then the business keeps rolling, even if there is some issue. The rolling and the work keeps happening. So that's great. With this, I come to the last question. Is there something you want to say, Paul?
No, please just proceed. Yeah.
Sure. So, how do you see international business now changing for Taiwan? And what are your expectations, or what are you looking forward from the Macro International family going forward?
Okay. Well, we do see the incoming cases are decreasing for this and the last months, and I think this trend will continue. And so I believe, or I think everybody has noticed the situation will become different. I mean, from before the outbreak. I mean, the clients will become more cost conscious. So we have prepared to provide our clients with bargaining. I mean, more bargaining space because until everything has recovered to the level before the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah.
So also, I think the most important two thing is Taiwan, though there is a big change in world economy, but Taiwan, we have seen the trade climb, export also increased, industrial production index also rise. And also this year, we are the fourth largest in the Forex reserve. Also, the business intelligence of the risk intelligence, they have ranked us for the third best destination. So these things I think is very important that maybe we can introduce to our client, that because Taiwan is a hub for the semiconductor industry, IT, software, clouds. So now we are having even stronger platform because we have not spent much in other facts like COVID. Due to COVID, many countries have to sacrifice their huge amount of the GDP that we did not have to do. We just had to support some of the industries. It's a very less in compared to that. So Taiwan is now has a very good prospect for FDI. And if there is any opportunity that for our macro team, we have any FDI for Taiwan, we are here just a call away. There are lots of proposals, lots of support from the government. We can facilitate those things for your client and as a team.
I think it is interesting to know that you're one of the top 5 or top 3 destinations for you said doing business in Taiwan.
Yes, it's a berry called Business Environmental Risk Intelligence. They always do the survey according to the business intelligence risk, or what is the investment portfolio accordingly. Already we have seen the Apple's already have sent their plan for investment, and they are planning to have a new plant in Taiwan. So they already have another one they are opening from next year, maybe July or August. So those investment is coming. We have lots of FDI in the medical sector. We also reached with some of the good clients in the medical industry. Yes, true. So
getting more, yeah, and I think the global community now have to take into account the health factor when they when doing business globally. Yes. This time, why the situation is so moderate in Taiwan, I think I have to say thanks to our health care system, because medical care is the system is quite, I should say, basically people are satisfied with that, because when they feel something uncomfortable, there are a lot of clinics, local clinics, so they can go there. Or they can go to the regional hospital. So it's quite easy and it's not like, for example, I know in the States, if you call up 911 for the ambulance to make the transportation when you are not you are so ill. I think I remember it cost around 1,200 US dollars, but in Taiwan it's free. It's free, and the also compare because we have only 23 million people, but so many hospitals. I don't know why, but that really provides the capacity for people who need it when anything like COVID-19 outbreak again.
Yeah.
I think we all know it will happen
and also
again.
we have introduced a new law to regulate if there is any pneumonia or novel pathogen related any issue comes up in future, because maybe this is not the end of the pandemic, right? We may face several. So that's why Taiwan has prepared everything. They have controlled the budget, income tax, public debts act, all those things through that act, so that if the emergency situation come like 2020, how to handle those future situations. So I think we are already prepared. We have lots of subsidies and tax benefit plans for the companies. They can avail if someone has to take leave due to the COVID-19.
Yeah. So there were only a little bit over 60 people who
locally transmitted.
Yeah, who are locally transmission. Yeah, so that's a very low number. I mean,
so maybe total is 441, and maximum is from foreign they bring the case, so it's from the quarantine. And local transmission, including doctors and nurses, is total less than 60.
Yeah.
Within 50s. So it's really, and that also more than 43 days without any local case. So already two incubation period have been passed, and we are already qualifying for a mask-free country now.
That's nice. That's nice.
I think it's a very good piece of information for our macro team that winning is in our hand. That's the important thing. If Taiwan can do, many big countries can also do, and they can take care.
Very true, very true. I think that was a good statement to close, that they can learn from Taiwan and winning is in your hands. That's a good statement.